have another prominent songwriter passed away a couple of years ago, LaShawn Daniels. He worked with Tamar Braxton on one of her songs, Bomb or what have you. Did you ever get a chance to meet him or maybe even work with him, co-write on a song, on a project with
Yep,
LaShawn
yep,
Daniels?
yep. LaShawn's from Jersey. LaShawn was just one of them guys, man. He just understood it. He was one of the writers that I always felt like I was in competition with certain dudes. He was one. Harold Lilly was one. Not because it was, competition. It was just like I would hear something they did and be like, oh man, I gotta get to work. Because he was locked in with LaShawn was locked in with Rodney Jerkins. Harold Lilly was locked in out in LA with I think Warren Campbell. So
Mm.
I was with KG and Eddie F. So everybody was distant and in their camps, but we was hearing each other's work. We would hear each other's work, and I wasn't worried about the other dudes. They was like, nah, because I wasn't really. They was dope, but I wasn't really sweating it. But LaShawn and Harold Lilly was the two, and Johntá Austin. Them dudes was like, oh, they writing, and that's what it keeps you sharp. But
Mm.
God bless that LaShawn was a good brother too, good brother.
Mm.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this: when you are writing and you meet a guy like LaShawn Daniels who is on your level, do you guys compare notes with each other, or do you talk to him and be like, "Yo, I wrote this better than you," or I do a better hook than you"? Does that go on in the industry?
Absolutely. Oh, it's
Mm.
terrible. Look, we talk to each other crazy, but it's like it's sport. It's sport because it's like I was never gonna get on the projects he had his arms around. Other
Mm.
writers never gonna get on Jaheim. That was mine. You know what I mean? Like, certain artists was just like they was like, man, I got a record for such and such, and we just be like, I'm sure you do. But
Mm.
it was we were protective of the things that we developed and admired each other for the things that each were doing, and we just kept each other sharp. That's the way it's
Mm.
supposed to. Yeah.
So do you think, in your opinion, Balawe, that maybe a songwriter is needed for a R&B singer and a rapper? They always need a writer. That way, maybe even though they might be a dope artist like a Drake or something like that, they still need other ideas. Because I might be thinking something different. You might be thinking different. LaShawn might be thinking something different. Do you think an artist always needs a songwriter in their back pocket?
I believe so. I believe
Mm.
so. If you want to be effective at the kind of consistency that this business requires, even with great songwriters, we collaborate with other writers sometimes because it's like I know when I'm tapped out on a record. If I'm tapped out on an idea and I gave it my best, I don't try to finish it just so I can control it. I know
Mm.
what go to that are better than me at hooks, that are better than me at bridges. Or if I wrote the hook and couldn't catch the verse, I know who to go to collaborate with. So artists got to go out and live so much life that they're good to bring back topics to you because they go and for 4 months they're all over the world. So they see new things, new experiences, and they come back. And the first thing you learn as a writer is how to be a kind of a therapist. You learn how to just sit and listen. And if it takes you 3 days to just listen to everything the artists want to talk about, and you just make mental notes like, oh, that's a song. Oh, that's a
Mm.
song. Or you learn how to do that because that's the job. But artists, even the ones that can write, will tell you collaborate.
Mm. Well
Smart
said. Well said.
people that they lean on for sure.
Okay, okay. All right. So you have worked with some very good artists, as I mentioned before, Chris Brown, Kelly Rowland, Angie Stone, before she passed away.
Yep.
Who did you have the best energy with, maybe synergy with when you were working with them? Obviously, they were all great, but in your opinion, who did you have the best connection with as an artist and producer, songwriter, collaborating?
I'm gonna say best to Britney Spears because of her willingness to just be like Britney was one of the first mega pop stars that I worked with that understood where pop was going. So
Mm.
she was bringing in black writers, black producers, black videographers, and she brought you into her life. I was with Britney when she went and picked out a plane. We was in the
Mm.
studio. She was like, "I've got to do something. You want to come with me?" And we go, and she was like, "And plane," and I'm like, "Yo, the hell is this?" But it was she was an open book, and that allowed me to catch life-changing records with her because she was at the status to where she could have been different, and you would have
Mm.
had to sit the record in, and but she was just like, nah. She was, and I think because she working with her added to my discography in such a major way, it validated me in the pop market. Because as a black creative, you had to deal with that in the early 2000s. It was like, you could do R&B, and if you had the right manager, you could do pop. And I happened to have both. I had the right management, and I was working with a mega star that was open. She wasn't on some superstar, whatever. So, yeah, I would say her.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you recently worked with Muni Long on her
Hmm.
album. What's up with that? How did that go? Was it a lot of hours in the studio? Was it a great synergy between you two? How was it working on the Muni Long album?
It was dope, man. Money is really first and foremost a songwriter.
Mm.
Money was a songwriter for like came up in the same class I came up in, but she was on the West Coast, but was catching major records. So she understands it, and it was very easy, man. It was like two records, and she knew exactly what she wanted to say. We just threw lines and back and forth at each other, and the session we did both records in 2 days, and that was it. Next thing I knew, the album was out. But
Mm.
simple, money's a writer, and is a unique vocalist too, dope singer. But more than being a dope singer, she knows how to just sound like her. She figured that out from being a writer and knowing how to camouflage and like morph into who you're trying to sell a record to. So she's got so many voices she can access. She did all of that and found hers in the middle and cut through with ballads. Money
Mm.
caught ballads, which is very hard to do now. She caught a couple hit records with slow records.